The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Reader's Magnet featured author interview, where we dive deep into the world of creativity and inspiration. And our guest for today is the author of the book, Love That Works, The 12 Foundation Stones, a Success Plan for Long-Term Committed Love Relationships. So please help me welcome Saundra Dickinson. Saundra, how are we doing today?
Good, very good. Thank you.
And you know what? To all of our book lovers, though, if you want to check it out, they will be adding on the comment section down below. We'll be pinning down the link where you can purchase a book of Love That Works. Check it out, though. It is a very good, sensational book. But if you want to know more about this book, stay tuned and check out this interview because we'll be knowing from the author itself. So, Saundra, just want to ask you, though, coming with this because I've heard a lot of good things about this, and I've read a couple of pages as well from this book, Love That Works. So please tell me, what inspired you to write this book, and was it based on personal experience, research, or both?
It was both. It was actually more than both. It started out when I became a therapist. I had trained to do this work, this theory, which is called Imago, I-M-A-G-O, and that's it's not an acronym. It's a word that means your emotional blueprint. And it describes the way we feel emotionally at any given moment. And relationships change the way we feel at any given moment. So it came at a time when my husband and I were having a little bit of a rough time with our own marriage.
Okay.
And we found the theory. We found Harville Hendrix, who created the theory, and learned it. And I knew that's what I was going to do, is help couples. And that's where it started. And the book is based on couples, but we have since learned that this theory and these exercises and the work of it can be done for any reason by anybody, even at work. And, you know, I have actually talked to Fortune 500 companies that want it for their companies.
Okay.
Yes. So so they know how to communicate better. But my clients were very inspirational in getting me to put it in a book because they kept asking me, do you have something this is written in? Could we take it home with us? And I didn't. And so that was really a very strong impetus to do it, put it in a book.
You know what, Sandra, there's one thing that really, just from the top of my head, though, coming back with Love That Works. And it says that's 12 foundation stones. And it makes me wonder, like, if there was a success plan for a long-term committed relationship that can be, like, shorten it up, like, was 12 stones significant, though, within life? Or are we talking about months of work? Or what does the 12 stones really imply within your book? I'm just curious about this.
Good question. And that is a very good question, because the good news is that I started out because these were the areas where I worked with couples. All 12 places, but I didn't work with every couple in those 12 places. It's what you need. It's what the relationship needs. So you pick and choose what you need. Now, there's certain things. Communication is a big issue. Conflict is a big issue. And closeness is a big issue in all couples. The 3 C's. You'll hear me say that again probably. But those are the 3 areas. But then you've got several ways to go at it. Plus, the book is full of examples of my husband and my failures as far as, you know, where they got us and how we had to dig our way out. Yes.
And, you know, I totally agree with that. Because, again, the best teacher would really be experience. And how can you teach another person on things that they can work on if you yourself haven't experienced these? So this is also talking about personal experiences, research, and having your clients having these experiences, which again signifies the 12 stones. So each and every couple who wants to help the relationship can always grab a copy and figure out of those 12 foundation stones which we want to work on. But Saundra, one thing that I would just want to ask you then is, what do you think is the core problem that your book really helps people solve then?
The core problem is seeing that we can have relationships. Everybody wants them. Actually, marriage is the most sought after, coveted position on this planet.
Mhm.
It really is. People want to be married. Americans for sure want to be married. So they want their marriage to be sustainable and know that they can work things out no matter what. And really, that's what we commit to do in a marriage, is to work things out no matter what. But because we have such a strong attraction to that person to even agree to be married,
Mhm.
that's the one usually we want to be with forever. It really is. So couples want very much to be able to sustain their marriage. That's probably one of the most important things they want to work on.
Well,
And
so
this teaches you how to do that, because again, we can have relationships, we can have them, but we can't hold on to them. Things get bad and we back up, or we start attacking or distancing. Those are our two big defenses. We'll either attack the problem or distance. Yeah.
and it's more of like trying to hold water with your hands and trying to transfer it to a different place. Like everyone wants to have this certain thing, but how you can hold it up and sustain the whole thing is one of the core problem that your book really helps solve when it comes with people's
Exactly.
relationships. So, if talking more about this, because I do understand that your book also helps solve issues again with people. So, if I'll ask you, like, who is your ideal reader then, Sandra? We're talking about age, life stage, and also mindset.
Well, originally I would have said the marriage couple.
Yeah, yeah,
But
totally.
now, honestly, it's anybody. And you'll know when you learn the skills, you learn that they work everywhere on everybody. We don't
Mhm.
have to keep operating the way we've been operating in relationships. And we do end up hurting people, and they hurt us. And we're never going to be perfect for anybody, but
Mm.
we can get so much better, and we can get into a healing place with our essence. Even our energy is that even if you upset me, we're going to work this out. That's an energy,
That's nice.
and
Okay.
people want that energy. They want to live with that energy. Their
And, you know,
kids want to live with that energy.
I really love that. Like, going back with what you last said, like, if there's a problem, let's talk about it, let's fix it, instead of there's a problem, let me run away, you'll fix it on your own. Then once it's good, then I come back. Those things, really, it's something that a lot of people really want, like having this energy and fixing couples, have fixing relationships, even with friends, though. Because again, I would totally agree. Like, yes, it could be married couples, but again, relationships with friends, these things might also apply. I'm not really sure, but you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Sandra. But what I'm getting is there are some relationships in life that a lot of people want, and there are some problems that we as people, human as we are, we always have these issues that we really can't solve. And I do believe that this book can also help with these types of people. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely
Well,
correct. And where the deepest problems come, whether we realize it or not, they're unconscious to us. They're not in our conscious mind, but they're situations in our childhood that never really got settled correctly for us. Yeah, it goes all the way back, but it just prepares us for our choices, the kind of people we're going to be attracted to, the kind of people we're going to end up being with, wanting to be with. And sometimes that's not good. So we do need to
hmm,
look at all of that.
hmm. Okay.
But
Yeah,
you can do it and it not be painful, not it be so painful. People are sensitive around that because there's a lot of vulnerability around it.
true. And they will always have this image like, I need to be the strong person within this relation. I need to be this invulnerable person that no one can touch or stand or fall down.
Mhm.
And you know what? This also boils down back. This also goes to another question I do have here in my mind, Sandra.
Uh-huh.
Especially talking with the people who read your book, had done therapy as well. So, and there are people who would also grab types of books, like these types of books, like to help in relationships, especially for committed love relationships, long term. Like they have this, do that, try to spice up things in the bedroom. Who knows? Maybe might add that in, or
Yeah.
have to try to have a conversation and whatnot. But what have these people tried before that you can say that your book would be really different?
Well, this takes us right to the core of the whole situation, and that is we usually grow up and try what was actually done to us in the way of
Mhm.
raising us and taking care of us. And a lot of that wasn't good because we didn't have much information back then. And back then, I'm just going to say this theory came out in 1988, and it
Mhm.
took it a while to get going. Now, it is absolutely probably the most uh, taught and done work in relationships on the planet, truthfully. We've got
Ooh.
gazillion therapists that do it, and it's really worth it. Uh, because normally what we grow up doing is we blame people because that's what children do. They don't have any defenses, and so they just blame. They're not wrong for doing it either because they don't have money and car keys, okay?
True.
Adults do. So we don't have any adult victims unless they're a captive of somebody.
Mm.
But we have a lot of children that feel defenseless and feel very vulnerable. And if the parents work it out, then obviously the kids are going to get a good taste of it, this work. And they love it. It's really good to watch because the whole family ends up in my office actually.
Mm.
Because yes, they want to do it all as a group. And I think that's wonderful. It makes it even stronger. It really cements a family.
Love that. And go it I think it always boils down like holding again, talking if we're going to be talking about this book though, and talking more about it, like reading the subtitle itself, like a success plan for long-term committed love relationships.
Hmm.
I think it just not only boils down to the people who get married, how they sustain it, but it also bounces back to the kids as well.
Yes.
Because if we're talking about a long-term committed love relationship between the parents, it also reflects to the children. And I want to drive that point as well, that this book, if ever trying to say on what how this book is different, it just not touches on committed relationships like husband and wife, but it also gets families together. And again, from what you've said, having the all therapists have been using the Imago, if I'm not mistaken, Imago model, and everyone uses it. And even these people who are in relationships goes to your office and tries to ask for advice. Eventually, has their whole family,
Hmm.
so at least they can have that long term committed relationship, which really says that it's really love that works. And
Yes.
it's something that I would really love to see it work as well, and a lot of people to grab as well, and for them to talk about it and read further more about this.
Thank you. Yes, I think that's wonderful. Something, Rob, honestly,
Sure.
men like this work, believe it or
Mm.
not, and they like the book because they don't want to read a big 500-page book and to get all these 12 steps, right? And so they do. The book's 150 pages, which is plenty. And
Mm.
they can read it together, and they're going to see. I mean, you just go to work differently even when you get the gist of it and you get the exercises mastered, you can do it.
Mm. Got it. Love that. And you know what? So you know what, Sandra, and this book, Love That Works. And again, to all of our viewers and book lovers, I would highly recommend and suggest for you guys to grab a copy of Saundra Dickinson's book. That's Love That Works, available through Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So there you can see there popped up. It's a small book. It's an easy read, and there are some exercises in between. So at least you can read these chapters, follow these exercises, and see how you can apply this. Again, it only takes 30 days for you to form a habit. So get that habit and grab this copy right now and start doing. So, you know what, before we wrap up this interview here, Sandra, just want to say though, like with your readers and for your future readers, they're going to grab a copy, they're going to read this book. So I want to ask you, like, what do you want these readers and future readers to walk away with? Like one idea or a feeling, and what should that be after you read your book?
Well, I'm going to give you one word, and that's hope. Yeah, a lot of hope because they can see that they can work it out and they can wait and learn and just get better and better. And then their kids will. And then the teachers at school will. I mean, I've spoken to every church, every school.
Mhm.
Really, there's just not anybody on the planet I know of that won't improve by using these skills.
And very short, very concise, and again, I love it that hope is the feeling that you want to leave your readers with. And yeah, you know what, as we come with the end of today's conversation, there's one thing I just want to say, Saundra. Just want to take a moment and say thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your insights. And I'm really excited to see where your writing journey takes you next. And I do believe that your book would be displayed in there will be an event in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be the Printers Row Lit Fest. So if ever you'll be there, and if ever also, I think you'll also be visiting at the event. Is that correct?
No, I'm not going to make it.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you know what? It would really be wonderful, though. But again, for all of our viewers, though, you can always check it out, though. You can visit the Reader's Magnet booth at the Printers Row Lit Fest. Check out her book. And if ever you aren't there and you read a few chapters and you want to grab a copy, we'll be attaching a QR code for you guys to scan. And for all of our viewers and book lovers, again, we'll be adding the links down below for you guys just to click on those links and, just grab a copy. And you know what? I just want to say to Saundra, thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to see where your future work takes you in the future,
Thank you
Saundra.
so much. I appreciate very much the opportunity of sharing this. I really do. Thanks.
Love that. And you know what, to all of our viewers and book lovers, thank you very much for tuning in. And always remember that every ending is just a new beginning in the world of stories. May your reading adventures be endless and your imagination boundless. And as we say here at Reader's Magnet, we share your stories with the world. Thank you and have a good one. Bye bye.
Thank you.